Aren't these pretty? I just love the colorization of them. These are just scrap samples, and um, I'm kind of in a dilemma. I don't know exactly what I want to do with this. I'm kind of thinking of making them into background pieces for uh, putting in my Etsy shop or using myself, but I thought I'd get your opinion. If you had these four pieces, and they are, let's see, they are all, let's say, a good four and a quarter. They're not all the same length, but they're all at least 10 inches long. So 4 by 10, let's say. What would you do with it? I think they would make beautiful backgrounds for displaying other slow stitch pieces. Let me see if I've got a couple here that we could play with just to see what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Oh, got a drawer full of stuff. I have a little bird here. You know, that might look good on something like that. I have this piece. The browns really pull that in that good. Let's see what else I might have here. Oh, I have this one I forgot about. But that doesn't make that pop very well. I don't like that. How about, that one looks pretty good, doesn't it? I really like that one. I might have to do that. All right. So anyway, give me your opinion. If you had it on your desk, what would you make out of it? I could make a pouch. That would be pretty too. I could do that. There's just no, just give me some ideas. I'm a little brain dead this morning, so give me some ideas. And while I'm stewing over here, let's look at what I'm going to be making for lunch, and then let's get into what's on my desk. What am I starting? What am I in the middle of? And what have I finished? Well, I'm simmering down some spaghetti sauce, and I just added a can of chopped black olives. Now, my husband's not fond of black olives, but I am. So I get by with adding black olives by using the chopped ones, because they just kind of disguise themselves in the sauce, and that way he doesn't get a big slice of black olive and go, ooh. But that's one way to do it. And if if you have someone in your family who doesn't like black olives, well, use the chopped variety. And you don't really, you get it. I get the olive taste, but I don't get a strong olive taste out of it like that. Okay, doesn't that look good? All right, well, I've just got it together, and it's gonna simmer probably for about, I like to simmer mine for quite a long time. It'll probably simmer on low for about an hour, and I'll be watching it and stirring it and taking care of it. But that's going to be so good. All right, there you go. Oh, I thought I'd share some of the things on my desk right now that I'm trying to finish up. Some of these things are going in my Etsy shop. Some of these things are going as gifts, and some of these things I'm keeping. So anyway, it's a variety of things. But I was going to show you the pendants that I made from the master cloth pieces that you saw me make in earlier videos. All right, let's get a little bit closer look at this. This is just a gold chain wrapped through that. Okay, these are simply simple in the back. It's just the background fabric that the cluster is sewn to. Okay, I've got some sequins on there Everything else is just fabric, yarn, little scraps. That's basically all it is. Little scraps sewn to a batting background, and then when it's all completed, I put the fabric on the back. Okay. Now this one is the same way. It's a little smaller, more delicate. Same fabric background. You could put any kind of chain, rope, yarn, twine, whatever it is that you wanted to use for your actual chain for your necklace. It looks pretty with anything. Just a piece of yarn that you loop through there and tie so it'll slip over your neck looks really good with it. Again, I have sequins and little pearls on this one, and just snippets of little scraps. Okay. All right. Now, what one might look like, let me see if I can show you here. Got the next one up is going to be this one, and I have basically sewn the scraps to the background, and then I was putting some little sequins on, auditioning those, and so I'm going to add some sequins and pearls to this one also. And then it's going on this piece of scrap like that. I will sew that around on the machine, and then I will fringe it all just like I have done this one. That's exactly how I did this one. Okay. So you can see that just little scraps can make something nice. Now, when you want your background piece, I want fabric that frays. And so the domestic type cotton on this one frayed pretty. And of course, this loose weave here frays excellently. And you can trim down and determine your fringe, whether it's straight edged or waved or lengthy on one side, short on the other. You can do all that yourself. Okay, that's a design choice. So that one will be in the make. Now, another thing that I wanted to show you, let me put these aside, is a couple of things that I'm making for fiber art. Now, this is a piece of my background patchwork that I'm making. Again, I'm doing some of these and putting them on Etsy just so that people who don't have access maybe to some of different kind of fabrics that could pick one up. But these fabrics are just, again, scraps that I have that I am using for this. This is, right now I'm creating them about, let's see, what are they? 6.5 by 9.5, I believe, yes. So it makes a nice piece. It just works as a background to set off something that you've already made. For instance, this piece here that's laid this way was just a piece where I collaged some scraps and just did a running stitch through it. And then I had it laying around, and I thought I need to do something with that. So I layered it on top of the green. And then I found some interesting little scrap pieces I have. This little woven piece came off of a scarf. This came off of a blouse, actually, this little piece through here. And this was cut off of a half-finished piece of embroidery. And so I'm going to incorporate that all in there, sew that all down, and that'll be a little wall hanging. Isn't that pretty? You can just take little bits of nothing and make art out of it. it's just so much fun to stretch your imagination, to ask yourself, what can I do with this? You know, what I know a lot of us are constantly, what am I going to do with this slow stitch stuff? Keep taking it further till you find a home for it. Okay? It might sit in a drawer for a little while, but then you'll find the exact piece you need. When I saw the colors in this background piece, this piece jumped in my mind. That would look good on that color in the background. And I think it does. I think it really sets it off. Now this could be mounted on like a canvas board. If I got a canvas board, I would paint it a solid color that would complement my piece. A lot of times that's simply black. Other times it'll be in a color of some kind that I think goes. Sometimes it's a very aged ivory color that I like. Make sure you paint the front of the canvas and all the sides so that no white is showing before you mount this on there. And then use your preferred method of mounting. If it's not a large piece, what I do is I'll use double-sided tape and put it that way onto that canvas board. For one thing, after it's hung for a while, I like to switch things out. And so after a while, I can just pull the tape off, pull it off the canvas board, pull the tape off the back of the fabric, and then do something else with it if I want to. Or I can gift it to someone after it's mounted, and they can do what they want to with it down the road. All right, so there's that, and I have yet to stitch all that. So now one that is finished that you saw me make in the 50 styles of slow stitching video was this piece right here. Now what I did was I took some sample pieces, and you know how some of them have the glue on the back? Well, unless you're going to wash this, that glue doesn't bother anything, all right? And you can, excuse me, actually use that glue to your advantage if you want to heat press this onto a piece of cardboard or canvas or something like that. That glue will help you to stick it to the background. But like I said, it doesn't hurt anything. If this is going to be a wall hanging or it's going on something that's never going to get washed, thrown in a washing machine or anything like that, then that glue is not going to bother anything. So those colors were perfect for me. And I've had these laying around for a while. And so it really set this piece off really nice. And so I'm going to also, this is going in my Etsy shop as a ready-to-frame wall hanging. And this one probably will too when I get finished. So if you have a little business or shop on the side, when you're creating your fiber art, your slow stitching and things, think about little things that you could finish them out for. The person who buys this may not have one bit of talent in sewing or crafting, but they can take it down to, well, like I do, I take it to Hobby Lobby and tell them to mat it, and I pick a frame out for it. And their frames are, I wait till they're 50% off, and that happens once or twice a month. And so I pick out a frame and tell them to put it in a mat and put it in a frame for me. And when you do that, you come out with a gorgeous piece of home decor. All right. Okay, so that's what I am working on right now. That large one is finished. This one I'm fixing to work on today. This pendant is ready to photograph and put on Etsy. Take my necklace out of there. There you go. See how easy that is? And this pendant also is ready to come out and photograph and put on Etsy. All right. So these are very beautiful. They especially in the winter times when you're wearing sweaters and sweatshirts and things like that. These just make your outfits pop so pretty. And they are just gorgeous. Okay. All right, let's put those over here. Now, another thing that I'm working on, here's another piece of, this is, I'm fixing to sew this on the machine. Let me get it straight here. My pen came out, so I'm not very straight. There you go. All right. I sew the seams on the sewing machine. It's just faster and they're very secure that way. All right. Then I will cut away the excess in the seams so that it's easy when I sew. Then I made a fabric flip. Isn't that pretty? With just interesting little fabrics. And let me get these. Any little interesting thing you want to do. But I'm going to mount that on this as a piece of art. I think I'll mount it this way. And then I will probably cut this one down so that it's not so long after I get it all on there. Then I can judge it, what I like about it, where I want to put it. Okay. Or I might see if I have some of the pieces that are more maybe in the teal or the pinkish color. I don't know. We'll see. But just for example purposes, if you have a background piece that you put together that you like, then make something or use something you've already made and mount it on there. And then what I do is I sew across here, and then I pick up the layers and just sew the underneath piece across and up so that the layers are free so people can actually lift them up and see what's underneath them. And they do that, believe me. They do that. They want to see what all's down there. Now, if you want to secure it all, you can put trinkets, charms, sequins, beads, whatever, and attach all your fabric down. But since it's kind of a flip, I like it because people can interact with it. Okay, so that's another idea of something quick you can do with your scraps, and just it doesn't take much time. And as you can see, it is all just scraps, very boho style, which, you know, is me inside and out. So I have loose sequins running around here. So that's another thing you might think about doing with some pieces you've got. Just patchwork it and use that for a background. Okay, I think that's all I've got going on my desk right now. So we'll call it halts here. And meanwhile, you stay very scrap happy.